brothers, but not by birth. Family, but not by DNA. David and Adam are two of a kind, and they wanna borrow some of your day to talk into your ear holes about midi-chlorians and roller coasters. Those two things are unrelated, but so are they. They're unrelated at birth, like most people who aren't related. Unrelated at birth, but they're brothers in a brotherly way. Now it's time for the phenomenal brother and the golden voice of the South. They're brothers from different mothers, but they're both really proud to be unrelated at birth.
Hey Dave, I don't hear any theme songs or any kind of like cartoons in the background. Are you done with Disney? Wait, what is that? Oh, it's Alabama. No. I think we need to go back to watching Chippendale Rescue Rangers. I don't know that Alabama basketball is worth it, man.
We get to watch round football right now.
No.
What? I mean, come on. Are you a fog?
Oh, no. I'm not a fog at all.
Are you a football-only Gump?
No, I'm not at all. I actually am looking forward to Disney Plus helping me figure out this bundle thing and how to actually get it so that I can watch what you're watching right now and hear Eli Gold. I'm actually looking forward to that. The problem is we lost a Penn in Rhode Island, so I'm just really not enthusiastic about it.
Well, by the way, did you hear the sideline warning music?
No, but it should be there
this
somewhere. Maybe
like
just like in the background,
warning.
like jung, right? Yeah. But let me say this: that was after the whole bundle thing. Was literally I was texting with you today. That was after. Luckily, they have chat, so I can have it in the background while I'm doing real work. 4.5 hours.
So tell the story.
4.5 hours.
First off, Dave Adams.
You.
The golden voice of the South.
Name number 1.
The human jukebox.
Name number 2.
All the way from the top of the state, Madison, Alabama.
Yep.
Phenomenal brother.
That's me.
Adam
Only
Joseph
name.
Russell.
Oh, going with all 3 today.
All 3 names.
Nice.
From the middle of the state of Florida. House of Mouse, St. Cloud.
Florida de Central. Yeah,
from the middle of the wing.
I signed up for
America's wing.
I signed up for a Disney Plus account. That's enough out of you. I signed up for a Disney Plus account and did not get the bundle right off the bat. Wish I had, though, because I am not able to upgrade. What I've ended up having to do, as I found out after waiting 4.5 hours for a chat agent today, was cancel during the free trial, let it expire, and then re-sign up to get it. So the good news is I have a clear path forward. The bad news is that I expected to have it resolved, and it's not resolved. But clear path forward. Soon I'll have basketball. I'll actually have it on every now and then. No, I'm not a fog, but I'm just not excited about basketball.
Why not? It's round football. We got the Hall and Oates.
Oh, no, we don't. No.
He's a rich
We got
girl,
the Hall
and
and
he's
Nopes.
gone too far.
Hall and
Nopes
Nopes.
don't matter anyway.
I mean, can you imagine, though? Put yourself in what's his name? Say I am a fog. Put yourself in Oates' shoes, right?
Nate Oates.
Nate Oates. You're coming out. First game at Coleman. We're going to do this thing. And you lose to Penn.
Well, Penn's a good team.
Dave.
Look, we gotta.
How would Penn fare in the SEC West?
We have to wash the Avery stink off. And
How
this
would
shows,
Penn fare in
hold
the
up.
SEC West?
This shows how much of a fog you are. You got in trouble for this last year on sideline warning, as I did. There is no SEC East and West in basketball.
Okay, how would they fare against normal SEC slate then?
They'd be middle of the road.
Middle of the road. So we're worse than middle of the road.
Yeah, we are. Because we have the Avery stink still.
And you guys got in trouble for this on Sideline Warning when it was, oh my gosh, we hired somebody who's going to do the thing and we're going to have the thing. We don't have the thing. We're not going to have the thing.
There's 6 minutes left in the game, and we've got 60 points on the board right now.
Oh my gosh, that strategy worked so well against LSU in football We scored 46 on the number one team, or however many on the number one team in the country. Too bad we let them score more. Last time I checked, points per game is not the statistic they look at to determine whether or not you make the NCAA tournament. But that just may be me and my lack of understanding of basketball and structure of conferences. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they do look at points per game and they're like, hey, they stunk. They were 1 in 107. But you know what? Doggone it, they did great on offense.
Doggone it, people like me.
So welcome to the sports show, guys.
No. We're not going to do sports. So let's...
Well, we are.
I mean, we will talk sports later, but let's do some non-sports first for Sherry.
Sports first.
Well, Sherry asked us to not do sports, and she told me I can sing. So how about we just do 30 minutes of me singing?
Well, I tell you what. By all means, text me and I'll come back.
No.
When you've wrapped up your set, I'll come back for the encore.
No.
No?
No, because the whole 30 minutes will be the encore. I won't do that to you.
You're like Donnie and Marie wrapped up into one person.
I know, right? I do want to go back to Disney Plus again. And you last night made fun of me because I hadn't watched the new Jeff Goldblum ice cream episode.
Mm-hmm.
I
didn't make fun of you.
Well, no, you made fun of me because I want to watch musicals instead of it.
Yes, that is why I made fun of you. You're right.
I'm a musical geek.
Not just musicals, High School Musical. Which is bordering on musical, made for TV musicals.
The first one is in sync to a T, so it's right up your alley.
Look at when it was made, right? I mean, look when it was.
It was 2007. It was after.
That's at the edge of like that, though. It's closer to.
Have you seen High School Musical?
I have seen High School Musical.
Okay, because I figure it's something you would like too, because it's in sync.
I don't mind High School Musical. I just would not choose to watch that over shows about science and things like that because this thing happened since 2007 where I became an adult. Kind of weird how life worked that way, but I mean, hey, to each their own.
That's it, folks. We'll see y'all next time.
Well, I can do a lot. I can do a lot in post prod, but I can't create a whole show out of it.
No, because
please stay.
Come on, man. Come on. There are shows that you watch that people would probably consider, you're a little old for that. Or are there not?
I don't think there is. I think there's probably shows. I think the way you could categorize it is there's shows that I watch where people think, wow, really? You watched that?
Which would be?
I watched the first episode of the Yellowstone documentary on there where they follow around some wolves and things like that. I watched the entire Apollo show.
Now that's
but would you sit down and do that? But would you watch the Yellowstone show?
No.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's not that
I'm
too old for it. It actually would probably be more like people be like, aren't you a little young to be watching that kind of stuff right now? Well, that's probably what it would be more like.
So Apollo is interesting. I get that.
Yeah, it wasn't great, though. I mean, it was good.
Really?
I like that it actually went through all of the missions to the moon, because I think a lot of people forget that it wasn't just Apollo 11, that we went back several more times.
Yeah, we had 11,
because if all we were going to do was try to beat the Russians and we were just faking everybody out, we'd have stopped at 1. You know? Like they stopped at Sputnik.
We didn't stop at 1.
No.
We hit 11. 1 never made it off the ground.
Well, you know what I mean. Stop at 1 trip completely to the moon is what I meant, and then they.
Well, if we're trying to just beat the Russians, we would start back at 1. Yes. Oh my god. Anyway, but
there you go, Sherry. Thank you.
I'm going to blame you for that. I will say this. Where Disney is lacking, and I found where Disney is lacking today.
I've never heard you say anything remotely close to that, so I am extremely interested to hear what you have to say next.
Cool Runnings isn't on Disney Plus yet.
You want to kiss the Eggman.
I want to kiss the Eggman. Yeah. Also, I found out the lady that I work with that we made watch Star Wars. Mm-hmm. If you probably saw her tagging me in her whole diatribe.
I did.
She was born in 91. Shows you how young she is, right? She has never heard of John Candy or the movie Cool Runnings.
Wow. Which means she also hasn't heard of Uncle Buck. Right. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Right.
Etc., etc.
When I told her, she's like, who's John Candy? I said, Sorry, folks, we're closed. Moose out front should have told you. She's like, what are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
She's never seen Vacation.
Has she seen Christmas Vacation?
No.
What? Oh, come on now. You're pulling my leg.
No. I asked
She's 27 years old.
Yes.
28 years old. I was already married. Right? You should be well into like knowing about life by then.
Up until last week, she had never seen any of the first 6 Star Wars movies.
Wow.
Well, this should tell you about her taste in movies. She says episode 1 was the best of the first 6.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you know what? That movie exists to please certain people.
Who?
You know, people.
People.
People that like sand, I guess.
No, that's episode 2.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you know, if you like sand and you like not understanding what anybody is saying, you know, that's usually your kind of movie, right?
I will say, it does have one of the best lightsaber duels in any of the movies.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's a better lightsaber duel than anything in the new ones.
So far.
I'll agree with that, so far. We'll see what the big hullabaloo is about on the broken up pieces of Star Destroyer in the middle of some kind of ocean.
Let's see. Exactly a month from right now,
Yep.
I will be sitting in a theater.
A theater.
Here in Huntsville, Alabama. Probably with a pee bag because I'm not moving.
Ugh.
And I'll piss in the seat if I have to.
Yeah.
I will not leave for that
Just
2.5
go
hours.
before it starts, and then you can skip
Dude,
all of
I
it.
have to get the 64-ounce Coke
Why?
so I can stay awake.
Just take a nap.
I work.
Take the day off.
Not a bad idea. Actually, let me see. Hold up. Is the 20th a flex?
Uh-oh. But it's a
about
Thursday,
this?
right?
Oh, dang it. The
You missed it
20th is
by a
not a
week.
flex Friday.
You're going to have to use a vacation day.
If it were a flex Friday, I would probably go see it again.
I'd take the day off and go to the theater.
Yes,
If it
would.
were, but
Yes,
it's
I would.
not. Tis not.
Tis not.
Tis
Hey,
not.
by the way,
Mm.
you can't see this in podcast land, but that's our new fireplace.
Oh, wow. They made a lot of progress.
Yeah, they have, haven't they?
So they're redoing the whole main floor?
the living space on the main floor.
The living space.
The bedrooms.
Vestibule.
Yeah, the bedrooms are nowhere, but the new laundry room.
Nice.
It doesn't look like much right now, but
Well, it's really pixelated. That looked more like a den to me without.
yeah. That's the new kitchen.
Okay, cool.
That shiplap, unfortunately.
Oh, how ironic.
Isn't it ironic?
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like rain.
So,
That shiplap on the fireplace. Hey, Porter's texting me.
uh-oh. Tell them we're recording.
I will.
Leave us alone. We're busy creating content for the masses.
Stuff.
So is there anything you've come across? Because I sent you a text I think you were very disappointed at. Just to say one more thing on Disney Plus. I find Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers to be unwatchable in my old age. And you seemed greatly disappointed by that statement. I
do
tried to
seem-
introduce my kids to it, and it didn't hold any of us very, very well.
Really?
No. Well, because I think the first one, I sold it to them, and I'm like, all right, we're going to watch this. It's Chip and Dale. They're like detectives. And the first one's not really like solving a crime. It's like, oh my gosh, I fell down a hole and ended up on a trash barge, and there are pirates now. And it's like, it's not really you're a detective. It's happenstance and circumstance led me into this weird, zany thing, you know? And I don't know.
So
maybe
the
we
first
should
one's
try
like
the
that.
second one.
Yes, you should, because they do solve detectives. And you don't know much about Gadget or...
Yeah, they just throw you into it.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, and I tell you the same thing. I watched Tron for the first time in ages. The original one.
It doesn't hold up.
I'm a huge fan of Tron Legacy. Can I tell you, the middle, like, hour and 15 minutes of it
Boring.
the middle hour and 15 minutes is fantastic. But the way they introduce the story, is absolutely hot garbage.
Yeah, it doesn't
Like it's
hold
little
up.
quick cuts and everything, and then you've got this really cool story, and then right at the end it like just ends. Like he steps off the helicopter and gives them a hug, and they're like, "Hey guys," and then it ends. And it feels
Yeah.
like a gum commercial. They should all jump in the air, and freeze. And it just, I don't know. But I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, especially the middle portion. But I'm a
haven't
huge
watched-
Tron Legacy fan.
I haven't watched Tron in years. I don't know if I remember that much about the actual Tron. I remember Legacy. I've seen it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
I've watched Tron, I guess it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And even
ahead.
20 years ago, it didn't age well.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you have to put yourself in the frame of reference of what they were attempting to do with what they had available at the time.
Right,
And if you think about it, like
1982.
1982, I mean, it was really, really cool, the effects they were able to pull off. And most of the story holds that up pretty well. But the bookends of the beginning and right at the end just don't really do it justice. Like, it just throws you into it, and then it just is over. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And I appreciate Tron Legacy a lot more.
Yeah,
But I can't wait for a third one, and I can't wait for the attraction at Magic Kingdom.
2021.
The Tronfecta will be complete with the roller coaster.
I have already decided, and my family has. This is a shocker to you, I'm sure, but I have already decided that October of 2021 I will be at Magic Kingdom.
Nice. You should be,
Why is that important, Adam?
because the Tron roller coaster opens.
Well, that's the 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom.
Well, that too. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but that whole year will be the 50th. So
Well, I know, but I want to
have
be there
time.
for the Diamond. Oh, actually, no.
no, Diamond
50th
is
is
will
not
be
Diamond.
60th.
Yeah, what's
well,
50?
the 50th was golden at Disneyland.
I guess
the
50th would be
at
golden
World's
here.
going to be kind of like that iridescent kind of theme. I
Are they
don't know
going to
what
Are they
they'll
going
call
to make the castle rose gold?
it. No, I don't think they're going to do rose gold or one of the millennial color palette. But the
Please.
official color, quote unquote color, I think is like an iridescent kind of thing.
Please don't make the birthday cake again. If you have
they're not doing
any
the birthday
say in anything,
I really don't have say to paint colors on the castle, but if anybody ever asks my opinion, I'll make it very well known.
if you make the birthday cake again, if WDI brings back the birthday
Oh, there's
cake,
no way. There's no way. Because if you look at how they did the castle in California for the 60th, it looked really good.
Oh,
It was
beautiful.
really cool. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think they've learned their lesson with the birthday cake. But
We need.
Yeah.
We want simple. We want
yeah,
beautiful. We want sparkly.
yeah. And I don't know if I ever got a chance to mention this because I don't think at the time we were podcasting together. And I don't think that we ever talked it on Sideline Warning, but I was at Disneyland for the actual 60th.
Were you?
On a business trip. And the day of the 60th, we handed out cupcakes backstage to cast members as they were checking in for their shift. And we tried to wrap up in time, but I missed watching Richard Sherman sing Feed the Birds in front of the castle, one of the Sherman brothers, because we were handing out cupcakes. So I loved being part of it for the cast, and I loved doing something nice for the people who were working that day. But we missed seeing one of the Sherman brothers, and it absolutely floored me. But the coolest thing about that trip was walking through the Magic Kingdom or Disneyland the night
Magic Kingdom. They call it Magic
their
Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom the night before the 60th, and thinking that 60 years ago they were
Tonight.
still doing work. Walt was walking through here, just nervous as all get out about what exactly were people going to think about all this.
Yeah.
And it was neat to be there for that. But
And if you are into the history like Adam and I are, you
yeah.
have to check out that Imagineers show.
oh, you have to. The Imagineering story on Disney Plus is probably, I think, the best thing on there. The Mandalorian is second, very, very close second. But I think the thing about the Imagineering story is it's all true.
Right.
And the little facts that you pick up and the way you see people react to, I mean, there wasn't anybody who was involved with Walt that doesn't just get emotional talking about it. And there's something behind that. There's something special about it. You
Yeah,
don't see
there
that
is.
often. So, yeah,
Well,
man.
it's I'm not ready for this segue yet, but this is not the segue I wanted because I have something else to talk about after this.
Okay.
But it's the same way of when you talk Alabama football, people talk about Bear Bryant.
yeah, stories about the bear. Yeah,
Stories about the Bear. It's almost larger than life. But then you talk to people who actually knew Bear or knew Walt.
yeah,
They're true. That's just how the men were. It's amazing to me how this conglomerate of Disney was started by one man. I know we it all started with a mouse. No, it actually started with a rabbit, but
Technically, yes.
Technically, it started with Oswald.
Yep.
But it's amazing to me how the genius of Walt Disney,
well,
even to this day, it just transcends.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. I would put the theme park and the invention that the Disney company had of the theme park itself up there with like going to the moon and space travel, like not space travel, but the iPhone, going to the moon and the iPhone, things that have become a mainstay and changed the way that Americans live their lives, spend their time, the inventions that have come out of it and the leisure time changes and all that kind of stuff. Because the thing that I mentioned this last week, but I want to say it again, the thing that blew me away about that is it never clicked with me. As many biographies as I've read, and even when you take traditions at Disney and all that kind of stuff, it never clicked with me that until they built Disneyland, they were still just a movie studio. They had never branched out from what he originally went to California to do. And to step out and take a risk like that, and not just take a risk and change your business model, because you see that all the time, but to make something that nobody even knew they wanted.
Right.
Like the iPhone, right? It's like something nobody even knew they wanted, and it so drastically shifted the consciousness of a country and became something that is almost like a rite of passage, right? That's the thing that's amazing about it to me, because today you see the iPhone 11 Max, which you just showed me some pictures on, with 85 cameras and a really big screen and all of that. But at its core, it's really no different than what Steve Jobs made all those years ago. At its core, they're just really basically slapping new features onto the same product. And it's like that with a theme park. The formula of a theme park works so well that even when we built Shanghai, it's the same basic idea. Yeah. And it's very rare that you see like the car, right? Cars today, cars then aren't that different. It's just they're more efficient, they're more modern.
Sleek.
Things that you have the base idea stay the same for 50, 60, 70 years after the original one's done. You don't see that kind of stuff get created that often. So
right.
And to watch how it happened. And I think the thing for me too is, especially in this day and age where people are very focused on equality, where people are very focused on the ability for everybody from different backgrounds and things like that to have a voice. Looking at Mary Blair and Harriet Burns and all of those women that had a very huge part in the story, even back then, was rare, and to see all of the people that had their fingerprints on this. I think that's the coolest thing. And I think that's one of the reasons I like to go to Disneyland, because Disney World's always been my favorite. But when you go to Disneyland and you go see Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, or you go to ride the Haunted Mansion, they recorded that there.
Right.
When they recorded that soundtrack for Haunted Mansion or Moments with Mr. Lincoln or Pirates of the Caribbean, the Disneyland versions of them, the original ones, they had no idea if anybody was even going to ride the thing. By the time they built Disney World, they knew it was going to be pretty popular. But when you think, you put yourself in the mindset of somebody making something brand new like that, and it just changes your appreciation for it.
It really does. And watching that first episode, seeing that Walt did 4 attractions just for a World's Fair.
Oh, yeah.
And then brought all those attractions over to Disneyland. Just happened. Oh, let's put this right here.
Yeah.
This shows you how much I actually learned. I knew who Mary Blair was because of the painting in the Contemporary, the 5-legged goat and all that. I didn't realize that the entire set of Small World was all Mary Blair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
So one of the quotes I love in that is Mary Blair asked Walt and said, Walt, all right, what's my budget? He said, just make it. That's not my part. We'll make Roy take care of that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
The other thing that I found interesting watching the second episode of that, where they talked about the Haunted Mansion and everything. Kim, what's her name? What's her last
Kim
name?
Irvine.
Kim Irvine.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom is
Madame Leota.
Madame Leota. It's
Can you
because her name
imagine?
is Leota Irvine.
Yeah.
And what's funny is the quote from Kim Irvine was, I ride the ride with my kids, and when we get to the Madame Leota, we say, hey, there's Grandma.
Can you imagine?
And all these crazy people are like, what the crap is this lady talking about? But can you imagine? And she made this point, and you know how close I was to my grandfather.
Oh, yeah.
And when Papa died, I was a wreck. And I mean, 20 years ago, it happened. I'm still a wreck every now and then I think about it.
Yeah.
But can you imagine, right after she died, Leota died, Kim had to go ride that ride, and because that was one of her rides that she was in charge of. And every time she gets in there, weeks after her mother died, she had to hear, "Come back soon." I mean,
yeah.
How freaky would that be?
I know, right? Especially in
And
that
that's her
attraction.
face.
It's not like she's the redhead in the Pirates of the Caribbean. She's the
Right.
floating seance head in Haunted Mansion, and then the little
That's her face.
miniature lady at the end. Yeah.
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 It just blows my mind
Yeah.
how genius all that is.
Absolutely. Well, and that's one of the cool things about it too, is even when they redid the Haunted Mansion here at World, they redid that seance circle a little bit and they updated some of the effects, but they kept the original video, they kept the original audio. That's all of those things are just as important from a foundational perspective as they are today.
Yeah.
They keep it and they maintain it that way.
And it's the same smoke and mirrors effects
Yeah.
that it was in 1964.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I got to
it
tell
just
you,
shows,
I like the second episode because I got my fix on Epcot too.
Yeah. I love Epcot, but Epcot has become kind of secondhand. 2021, it'll be back to what Walt wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But actually, no, it'll be a little bit less than what Walt wanted it to be, but I think it'll be more up to Disney speed.
It'll be more relevant out of what people expect out of it today.
Right. Because Walt...
I mean, it'll never be... It was supposed to always be a permanent World's Fair. It was supposed to be a city. Right. And then Marty Sklar and the gang, decided to make it more like a permanent World's Fair. And, I dig it. But I think the more IP comes in there... I think the thing that I like about it, though, is they're bringing in, like, Moana. And instead of just, hey, come ride this dark ride that's the story of Moana, it's Moana and it teaches you something about, like, water. Which is truly what Epcot was always intended to be, is even if you do have IP in there, you're going to teach somebody something. And I think as long as they stay true to that for the most part. I agree with Josh. I think Josh from the WDW couple said it, though. That whole pavilion building that they're planning on doing right in the middle of the park, I will be interested to see if that actually makes it or not.
I don't think it will.
We'll see. It will be awesome if it does because it looks like a fantastic space.
I want my fountain.
But you want your fountain?
I want my fountain. I don't want the pavilion. I want the international fountain.
Well,
I'm mad.
You're mad. I am too.
Want my fountain.
I'm mad too.
Well, I know why you're mad.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been talking for 30 minutes for Disney Plus, so I guess you can go ahead.
No, lead us into it, Dave.
No.
So we've made it 27 minutes. Dave's only sung once. I consider that a success, given that we had carte blanche for Dave to sing as much as he wanted from Sherry.
Yeah. Well, but my wife says she won't listen if I'm singing, and we're flying tomorrow, so I'm going to put this on her phone and make her listen to us on a jet plane. Don't know when.
See, that's all it takes. I love it. Just 2 words, and you just went with it. and I'm proud of us too because we've talked Disney Plus twice.
3 times, really, if you talk about our
3
live show.
Because we had our live, yeah. And we still have respected our UK listeners and not given away any spoilers about anything. I'm proud of us.
Hurting me, it is.
Subtle that was. So,
Hold my beer, you will.
I think I'm when you talk about passion about Disney parks, I'm amazed at the equal level of passion people have shown about the entire topic of college football with Tua.
Talk about
our
passion,
boy Tua. Mm-hmm. Injured your hip, you did. But I assume at this point, I'm not going to go into any great level of detail, but I assume at this point all of our listeners are relatively aware that we're both Alabama fans. And we lost to LSU and then turned around, beat Mississippi State, but lost Tua this past weekend in the process with a hip injury that sounds like he's going to be sidelined until at least the spring. He may resume a little bit of throwing around the spring.
Yeah. They say spring he can throw, April he can throw.
Yeah.
He won't be back for the combines.
Because that's his plant foot, right? If he's a left-handed QB, that's his plant foot.
I think it was his left hip.
I thought it was his right hip. I don't know. Either way, it sounds like he'll be back. I think the thing that, as sad as that is and as bad as that is for Alabama's season and blah, 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 it sparks a I would say years old topic between you and me in my mind of college football players in general. And I came across a good example of that with one of the pages that I follow on Facebook, one of the Alabama fan pages, where there's a question out there of, was that the herd of turtles?
Yes, it was.
Okay, just checking. There's a question out there of, is Nick Saban to blame? Should we be mad at Nick Saban? I see a lot of people saying he should be fired, blah, blah, blah. And I even saw somebody say, I believe in my text message chain, it was time for Nick Saban to step down after that happened on Saturday.
That was not me.
That was you.
No, I never said it was time.
Screenshot of it.
I never said it was time for him to step down.
Hang on. Let me search. Oh,
I said it was time for some soul searching.
This is going to be fun. Let's see. Step down. I'm searching. And I have from Saturday at 1:48 p.m. I'm going to say it. It's time for Saban to step down.
Okay, I said that out of anger.
Yeah, I totally understand. But I think a lot of people are reacting from that right now, either complete defense of him or really lambasting him. And that's a natural reaction to have as a sports fan when your dude goes down. I think where it comes from all of us, is that the guy's just a kid. And it hurts. And everybody's processing that a little bit different of how they feel about this, right? But what that Alabama fan page said is that if you think that Saban deserves any of the blame, if you're going to say that he did anything wrong, get off our page, just leave the group altogether. You don't belong here. And it's insane because one of the things that we talk about a lot, and we talked it on Sideline Warning with around how should college players be paid and that kind of thing, is I think if you look at the way that Tua walked off the field after the LSU game, he could barely move. You should not in your 20s be walking like that. It should be you and me after we sit here and record our podcast and we get up. What's the first thing you do? Oh, like that. That's how we should walk when we get up. Well, you're 8 feet tall, so,
I'm only 6'5".
So that guys like us should be making those kind of noises and walking that way, not Tua. And I think that for me, my opinion is he should not have been in the Mississippi State game at all because, A, we didn't need him to beat Mississippi State.
Right.
And, B, it does him really no good because you could take him out where he doesn't play against Mississippi State, doesn't play against Western Carolina. We turn around, and then he plays in the Iron Bowl after 2 weeks of solid rest. And there would be no rust to knock off. That's what the process and practice is for in the back end, right? To knock all that rust off and make sure he doesn't get there. So I think that, personally, there's part of me that believes that that Saban got a little bit like, well, we've got to prove to everybody that we should be in the top 4. We've got to prove to everybody that Tua's got it for the Heisman kind of level stats. So I'm going to leave him in for 2 quarters until we get a comfortable lead, just like last year, right? He's going to play 2 quarters and then he's done. The fact that he went to him and said, I'm taking you out, and Tua begged to stay in, sometimes as a leader you have to say no. So I think Saban deserves a little bit of the blame in that. But I also believe from Tua's perspective is that sometimes when you ask for something, you get something you never expected. Yep. And sometimes you should just trust those around you when they say, look, we're going to go ahead and step back and take you out. Sometimes you have to trust that. But as a young kid, you want that fire. You want him to want the ball. So I don't think anybody can say that anybody should step down or be fired or anything like that. It's an unfortunate circumstance. But at the same time, I don't think you can sit there and say, oh, don't question anything Nick Saban ever does because you weren't complaining about it last year. All of us kind of held our nose. Tua was hurt in the Iron Bowl. He was hurting during Oklahoma. He was hurting in the national championship. And we all felt somewhere inside of us that maybe he shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
But it never turned out really bad for him, so we were okay with it. Now it's turned out really bad. And I don't like how Bama Nation's kind of divided right now. I mean, we can't even really anymore talk about football and not start to have these fissures crack open that put us all, my opinion versus your opinion. So I think everybody just needs to move past it. I think we need to pray for Tua. I think we need to keep supporting him and keep supporting Saban. But at the same time, we can't just start dividing ourselves and drawing lines on something like that. Because at the end of the day, none of us are injured. None of us had our futures incredibly altered in a matter of seconds by 600 pounds of linemen falling on us. So we need to put in a little bit of perspective. So anyway, what are your thoughts?
Also, I want to bring up something too. Some people were talking about oh, well, Mississippi State was playing dirty. No, that was not a bad hit.
No, it wasn't.
Tua just rolled up weird. And it wasn't just Tua. I mean, Raekwon Davis got hurt. Mississippi State's linebackers got hurt.
Yep.
Their starting running back got hurt. Something was weird on the field.
It's a late
that day.
season game, and everybody's playing hard, and people are worn out at this point. It's attrition.
Yeah.
Football's
It
a
is.
war of attrition. But yeah, I don't think it's dirty. I think it may even be a little bit of, it was a Bo Jackson style injury. Maybe Tua's too strong for his body.
Well,
maybe there's a little bit of that at play with his ankles too, because he seems to be fragile, but
Yeah,
he's not.
and-
He's not overall. He doesn't seem that way though, so it's weird.
well, and this brings up a good point, and this is what a lot of NFL draft kings and gurus are saying now. What do we do with Tua?
Yeah,
He won't be ready for the combines. He doesn't need to come back to college to prove himself. In fact, I think he'd actually hurt himself if he came back to Alabama.
yeah,
But if you're an NFL team, if you're an NFL GM, you're not going to waste a first-round pick on Tua because he won't be ready your first season. He's not going to be a guy that you can turn to next season. That's what a first-round quarterback is anytime you draft in the first round.
yeah. Well, I mean, the problem is the unfortunate part of it is as hard as he's worked and as clean as he's kept his persona and his product, he falls into the same category as somebody who's a emotional liability now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you wouldn't draft a guy in the first round who's going to be bad in the locker room or off the field. And now it's the same way. What are we going to have to put up with in terms of rehab? And it's different than when he's covered under a players union and how what they have to cover and what they have to do for him and all that kind of stuff is an investment too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a hard decision. I felt like on Saturday, and I said this to you, I said, if I was his parents, I wouldn't let him step back in the locker room because I felt like they kind of hung him out to dry and that we have beat him to a pulp in the name of whooping everybody 70-0 because we're not happy anymore with 38-7. We're only happy with 380 to -7,
He scored
And so-
-7 in football.
we would. I'm sure if we found a way, Alabama fans would want to find it.
Right.
But,
You're right.
But we beat this kid to a pulp in the name of just trashing the crap out of everybody, and it finally, the chickens kind of came home to roost.
Yeah, it did. But So I've changed my tune a little bit since Saturday in my ranting on Facebook and my ranting on the live stream on Facebook as well.
Yeah,
I was all about this is Saban's fault. Saban, this is on your head. Blah 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 blah. The more I think about it, that was a freak injury. It wasn't his ankle.
yep,
This could have happened to Mac. It could have happened to anybody else. What I am the most upset about at Nick Saban is Nick Saban as the adult, the coach, was taking him out. And Tua came back and said, no, coach, I want to play. Saban should have gone to him then and said, look, son, I admire your tenacity. I admire your heart. But for the betterment of the team, for the betterment of you, sit your bahootie, whatever I wanted to say,
took us.
down on the bench. It's Mac's turn.
Yeah,
But Saban, being the coach that he is,
well,
Now-
being the coach that he is now,
right? 2007 Saban,
no way.
the 2010 Saban that spanked AJ McCarron on the field, that would have never happened.
Spanked him. And,
you not remember?
No, it happened. I'm just laughing that it actually happened because it was it wasn't a good job pat on the butt. It was a frustration. It was like
Right.
popping your kid when they, it was that kind of a thing. And yeah, I think that we've seen a progression of him throughout the years where I think it's one of the reasons that our teams feel a little bit more undisciplined a little bit too these days is I think that edge is worn off a little bit. I think he's got a bigger heart for these kids. And you saw it come out in that press conference.
Well, do you know why? And it's one reason and one reason only. He's a granddad now.
Yeah.
He's not just Coach Saban.
Yep.
He's Papaw.
Yeah.
And the one thing that will mellow a man out, there's two things. One, having a daughter. The second thing, though, It's when you have a grandkid.
Yeah. Did you see the piece they did on him before the LSU game? Where they asked him, do you still get as mad as you do? And he said that his granddaughter was sitting there, or grandchild was sitting there watching the game, and he was yelling at somebody and had broken a headset. And the granddaughter walked over to his daughter and said, why is Pop so mad? Why he's so mad?
Yeah.
And once he heard that story, he realized, that you're everybody sees it. Everybody, you're out there on television,
And this is why, yes, as an Alabama fan, I'm upset that he's not that way anymore.
Well, I think that's. Go ahead.
But as a human, as a father, as somebody who recently, you and I've had this conversation, as somebody who recently realizes that football is football, and there's 10 billion other things in the world that matter a lot more than what 18 to 22-year-olds do on the field.
Yep.
I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the decision he made because, and I'm going to say it in front of our fans right here. Alabama lost to LSU. Normally, I'd be sad, I'd be mopey, I'd be blah, 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 don't talk to me. I was sitting there holding Harper. And after the game was over, Harper curled up in my lap and said, Daddy, I love you. And, not that clear, but Dad, and just cuddled her head next to me. I looked at the game, looked at Harper, and said,
That'll make you say LS who, right? You're like,
That'll
what does
make
this
me
matter,
say-
right? What
Right, exactly.
who? What is this game? What is this in the grand scheme
Right.
register as highly as it does? Yeah,
And the way you and I look at it now, it's just a TV show.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. We get into it. I won't go to a wedding in the fall. Don't ask me.
There's certain non-negotiables. I mean, come on, let's be reasonable, right?
Right. I'll go to Halloween Horror Nights, but I'll watch the game in the queue. I'll try to watch the game as I'm going into the house. They won't let me. But when the game's over, you say, whatever, and turn it off.
Oh, well. Yeah.
So, yeah, it sucks that Tua got hurt. As an Alabama fan, yeah, it sucks. But when you think about it as a person that was on the field screaming in pain, not just a dislocated hip, his butt bone broke as the bone came out.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's lucky to not end up like Prothero.
He's lucky. Yeah, he's lucky he's not like Bo.
Yeah.
He's lucky that we've got the doctors that can fix him.
It's true. And you know what really happened at the end of the day, Dave, is you've got a large majority of the fans, like you and me, and a lot of people that were mad at Saban. We have been trained for the better part of how many years now? 12?
Yeah.
12 years? To when perfection is not reached, anger brings the locker room speech that puts everything back in line.
Right.
And just like Nick Saban sat there and said, I don't get as mad as I used to anymore because of this, we all have to learn that he taught us for 12 years. When perfection isn't attained, it's something to get upset about, and dadgummit, this is better be the right way next time, or you're not doing your job. And so something bad happened to us. Something probably worse than losing to Clemson in the last few seconds of the national championship game. Because you saw an entire season's hopes get wiped away in a few seconds, and then your heart also breaks for that kid, so you lash out the same way you've seen this guy, Nick, lash out. But he's learned. And now we have to learn too. Just like you said, put it in perspective. Yeah, if you say at the end of the day that Saban should hold some of the blame and all that, none of us are the athletic director at the University of Alabama. None of us are going to make him leave or say he should be fired. And honestly, I don't know that the AD would even listen and care, because he's the one who owns the decision. All of us, it's like you said, it's like trying to ask for the head writer on Days of Our Lives to leave because you didn't like how a storyline went on the show. You don't have that much say over it. You don't have that much control over it. And at the end of the day, it's a form of entertainment. It's just not scripted like other things, like a show or wrestling. It's playing out in real time and can go your way or it can't go your way.
You had to throw that one in there, didn't you?
No, I'm not saying that as a dig. I'm just saying at least like with Days of Our Lives or with wrestling or something like that, if something didn't go the way you wanted it to, it's not fate playing itself out. It was always meant to be that way in the writers' minds, and it was never going to be any different. The decision Nick made could have made something go different if he'd have taken him out of the game. You know, that was the way fate happened to play out. That's why sports has such a deep place in people's lives, because no one knows what is going to happen. No one except God. It's unlike any other thing you can watch on TV, unlike any other thing you can experience, because no one knows what's going to happen. And those decisions that both Tua and Saban made could have changed the outcome. And so it makes you angry at them for doing it. You know, but again, you don't get that mad at a head writer or a director of a movie, or think, well, I don't know, maybe with Last Jedi people do. But you don't get that mad. I had to throw that one in there, right?
Rian Johnson.
And probably Abrams after the next one too, but you know, it's a different animal. So
yeah, it is. And I don't know. We've got to look at two. I'm not saying that Mac is like this, but we have to look at 2014 Ohio State.
Yeah,
it wasn't their first string that won the championship. It wasn't even their second string.
Yeah,
it would be like Talia Tungaloa being in the game. Tua and Mac both getting hurt, and Leah coming in the game, winning the game for us. So
yeah, I would have
Bama's not out.
I would have a lot higher hopes for our season if our defense was a lot more stout. I don't think we can outscore anybody now, and like we saw with LSU, with our defense.
I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to probably upset some people, but if you go back and watch the second half of the Alabama-Mississippi State game, with Mississippi State's first string in there, the O-line blocks better for Mac. Because we don't run the RPO game with Mac.
True. That's true.
It's a straight pocket pass with Mac. So, I hate to say it, Tua is a once-in-a-generation talent. But when we run a back-to-Alabama style offense...
Yeah. Well, let me tell you right now, all the people that were calling for Saban's head when Tua got hurt, if we end up making it in the playoffs and winning the national championship with Mac Jones, those same people will be calling Nick Saban the greatest genius that ever lived.
Oh, I agree.
I agree. It'll be amazing to see how fast that switches. Anyway.
I will say this. If Nick Saban gets Alabama in the playoffs this year, and if Nick Saban decides somehow that we're going to win the national championship, because it could happen, this will be Nick's best coaching job.
Yeah.
Bar none, hands down.
Yeah.
So, there you go. There's our sports.
Now sing.
I told you.
Sing and make the people happy, Dave.
Into the unknown.
Oh my gosh. So you sent me. I got to give a little bit of like behind the scenes
Into
action.
the unknown. Okay.
I'm waiting for your phone to ding with a text from your wife. 3, 2,
No.
1. So behind the scenes a little bit, you sent me the link to the Frozen 2 soundtrack which dropped and said, hey, let's talk this, and I did not get a chance to listen to it.
No, you didn't.
So, but why don't you tell us your impression, because I think you can tell a lot from the story by the music.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome, you think?
So the soundtrack is not made for little kids. They're still going to sing. They're Into the Unknown. It's going to be this year's Let It Go.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Is there a In Summer? Because that's what endeared a lot of people to Frozen, was those little lighthearted moments. Okay, so there is.
Yeah.
What was that? What? Oh, by the way, hang on. By the way, I don't know if you've watched it yet, to go back to Disney Plus for a second, but I will forever be saying, what? No, to people now.
Oh, I know.
Oh my gosh, dude. Forky is now my new favorite Disney character.
Seriously.
Oh my gosh, dude. What they're doing with him.
No.
Well, hello there. What? No. Oh my gosh, man. And then the Money one. Have you watched the Money one?
Yeah.
What is Money? When he looks down at that quarter and he goes, oh, looks like a lady. And it was George Washington. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm on the floor. Anyway, sorry to digress, but Forky is, what they're doing with him is absolutely the coolest thing. So
the soundtrack is great. And I was sitting there listening. Kristoff has a solo. And it's not a reindeer better than people type solo. It's where he sings, and it's amazing.
And it's also not the king from Hamilton, so that's good.
Right. I was sitting listening to it. Wait, what?
He was the king in the original version of Hamilton, King George.
Was he really?
Mm-hmm. Jonathan Groff, right?
Huh.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
There you go.
But, so I'm listening to his solo. I'm like, what is this? It's an 80s rock. It's Peter Cetera. It's a Peter Cetera Chicago sound. And it sounds just like Chicago in the 80s. I'll play it for you after we get done. But it's amazing. And then they play all their music, and then they have all the covers. Panic at the Disco does Into the Unknown. And it's amazing.
So they redid the songs with, like, popular artists, I guess? Well, not that Panic in the Disco is really popular, but...
Casey Musgraves has a song on here.
Wow.
Weezer has a song. They made this for adults.
So who is the target audience of a soundtrack where you redo Frozen songs with Weezer and Panic at the Disco?
You and me.
No, I'm not a target audience for anything by Weezer.
Well, okay, I am.
Okay, well, there you go, okay.
80s, 90s, 2000s music. I mean, that's...
Wow, okay. I would have preferred Fall Out Boy, but okay.
Yeah, Fall Out Boy's
But Panic in the Disco and Fall Out Boy, I mean, really, at the end of the day, if you hear them on the radio, you really can't tell the difference.
Panic at the Disco.
Whatever.
No.
I really don't care.
Dear Lord. Okay. Well, guys,
Panic at the Disco, exclamation point. Is that better?
There you go. Next week, you will hear a short show of ours. We're just going to do a short show next week. I'll be back. You'll be in Orlando.
You'll be back. Sorry. Hamilton.
Back again. Just praying I will let you in. Anyway. Oceans rise.
There you go.
Fall.
I knew I could get it going.
Anyway, I'll be back from Orlando. You'll be in Orlando. So I think we'll do our short episode live next week. And we can do a short recap of my Mickey's Very Merry Christmas and Cruise trip. And we'll see what happens.
Trip.
You know, this time next week, it'll be Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah.
And then Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
And then the day after the Iron Bowl, we can put up Christmas. Legally.
Legally. I'll arrest you, sir, if you put your lights up early.
What was it I sent you the other day that every time somebody puts their lights up early...
was that dog? Was it that dog? I saw one with a dog that's like rolling his eyes.
I gotta find the meme again. You and I sitting so many pictures back and forth to each other. It's not even funny. I can't find it now, but it was hilarious.
Well, I have my fingers crossed for a cast preview of Rise of the Resistance coming up soon. We haven't heard anything, though.
You know what'd be awesome?
What's that?
If you had a cast preview of Rise of the Resistance on Monday.
Nah, I don't think that's going to happen.
You never know.
Well, you never know, but if they're going to organize it, they need longer than a week, so we need to get it going.
Well, okay. I might try to fly down if
yeah, right.
Cast member previews on Iron Bowl Day.
Can I take my phone in the attraction and watch the game?
That'd be tough.
I would be happy to experience your brand new world-changing attraction anytime except for 3:30 to 7 Eastern.
What if the only time they did it was 3:30 on Saturday?
I would be there. I would be there.
Really?
I would absolutely be there.
That'd be a tough one for me.
Yep.
All right. Well, you know where else people should be?
Where should they be?
www.unrelatedbirth.com.
Oh, it's sweeping the nation.
It should be. If it's not, it should
It's
be.
sweeping the world, for that matter.
It's sweeping the World Wide Web.
Oh, the interwebs.
If they want to get a hold of the show, just like Carrie and your wife did last week, we didn't have any calls this week. I expected BK to call in as much as him and I were going off on each other on Saturday.
Yeah.
But if they want to get a hold of the show and leave a voicemail, how do they do that?
650-UAB-SHOW. Give it a call. Spell out UAB Show on your keypad. And leave a message after the beep. We will play it. We'll discuss it. We do it every time, 100% of the time. Any question, any topic, anything goes on the birth line.
80% of the time, it works every time.
There when you need it, not there when you don't.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
And can I make a plea? Hang on. Can I make a plea before you go into the socials? If you listen, because we know you're out there, we see the stats, but we don't have a lot of reviews. So I'm not asking for any number of stars. I'm not asking for any number of stars, but reviews are the way that we get seen, the way that we get put out there a little bit more. So if you listen to our show regularly, take a couple of minutes, however you listen to it, go to that platform, leave a review, leave a couple of comments, and just let us know what you think, because that's the way not only do we get feedback around what people do and don't like about the show, that's the way all of the platforms we're on know that people are listening and paying attention, and it gets us a little bit more exposure, so we are greatly indebted to you for doing that. Thank you.
Exactly. Twitter, at NotRelatedBros, at DAdams419, at RunTideRun. Instagram, at UnrelatedToBirth, DAdams419, RunTideRun. What else am I missing?
I think that about covers it, Dave. You just need to send us out with a musical number now. No pressure. I saw you almost do it. You almost did it. Even with High School Musical, are you not going to... We're on it together. That's all it took was just a hum a couple of bars, and I'll take it the rest of the way. Here we go.
I don't know. This isn't a High School Musical ending thing. It's just...
It's not? Wow.
No.
Cats everywhere.
Wildcats are on the prowl. Can I just say, too?
Yes, you may.
That I know Justin Bieber was getting the whole love for having that whole flip of the hair thing and the whole Justin Bieberisms. Zac Efron was Justin Bieber before Justin Bieber. So why is Bieber getting to be the heartthrob with the hair flips?
He's Canadian.
Canadians
That's
are
what
stupid.
it is. What? We actually have a couple of Canadian listeners, Dave. You might want to walk back that comment.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was South Park that said blame Canada, not the Golden
That
Voice
is true.
South.
Not us. Not us at all.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, we say it every week, and even though I just dogged Canada, I didn't mean it. But I do mean we love you guys. We appreciate the fact that you spent an hour of your week listening to us. You lend us your ear holes so we can talk about midichlorians and roller coasters. And
everything
this
in
week
between.
We pretty much did. I have no idea what you're going to name this episode, Adam.
I'll think of something.
Okay.
I'll put my craftiness to work.
You'll noodle it?
I'll noodle it. See, that everybody's using that term now, man.
No.
I'm going to patent
just
it.
did that.
Oh, darn.
Patented? Patented it?
Or copyrighted, actually, I guess.
There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Well, we say it every week, and we do mean it, guys. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next week. And, we will see y'all later.
Bye, guys.
Ooh, ba, ba, ooh, ba, dibby da, da, ooh, ba, ba, ooh,
Unrelated at birth.